Begin by removing the climate control panel. Pull from the bottom and use a plastic trim tool to lightly pry from the side. Then either lay it over to the left side or unclip the plugs on the back. Next, tuck your fingers down into the back of the shift boot, under the center section, and pull up and back. Depending on if you have push to start, there will be either 2 or 3 plugs to remove. If your car is stock, there will be a permanent clamp holding the shift knob on that you'll need to cut off. Otherwise, loosen the existing clamp and pull the whole assembly off. A stock V8 will also have foam in this area that you'll need to remove next. Unscrew the 2 8mm bolts securing the ashtray and hang it off to the right side. Unclip the rubber boot from the rails underneath with a flathead screwdriver or trim tool. Pull it up, back, and out. When removing, do not try to pull the boot away from the plastic base that it's attached to. Next, unscrew the 4 10mm nuts holding the shifter plate to the car. Loosen and remove the screw connecting the shifter to the stock linkage stabilizer rod. Then loosen the adjuster at the very bottom connecting the shifter to the selector rod. To remove the base plate, push it down and slide the shifter off the rails. Then lift the front up and rotate it around as you pull it out until it's free. Remove the nut and bolt connecting the bottom of the shifter to the hinge on the selector shaft. Remove the shifter assembly. In the tunnel, the rod in the center is the one to remove, by unbolting it all the way up here. This requires use of a smaller socket wrench and your whole arm. If you prefer to tackle this from underneath the car, you'll need to lower the transmission, which we've covered in our other shifter install video, link in the description. Once you've got the bolt fully out, you can pull the rod out from the tunnel. Your new stabilizer rod will come in 3 pieces. Attach them together using the provided Allen bolts. Insert the rubber bushing. Add a little bit of grease to the shoulder bolt to allow for easier movement when threading it into the car. Then slide the rubber washer onto the end of the bolt. In the car, keep the bolt slightly out so you can still grip it while threading it in with your hand. Then tighten it all the way down with your socket wrench. Slide the back of the rod into the shifter assembly and reinstall the OEM bolt. Try to install it as close to the same position as it was before. Tighten the moving linkage at the bottom as well. Next, reinstall the bolt and nut at the hinge on the bottom of the shifter. If you have a JXB short throw clamp, tighten it until it just starts to create some resistance, but feels like it can smoothly pivot from that joint. If it's too tight, loosen it back little by little until it feels smooth. You'll want only front and back movement, no left to right play. For a stock shifter, tighten the nut onto the bolt to 10 Newton meters. If you have a non-JXB short throw shifter, refer to their installation instructions. Put your shifter plate back in the same way it came out. Rear forward and spin it around. It can take a little force to get it back through at the very end. Then slide the shifter back onto the rails and reattach the plate to the car. To adjust the shifter location, put the shifter in 4th gear, loosen the moving linkage bolt at the bottom, and move the shifter accordingly. In general, whichever direction you need more room, disconnect the bolt, move it the opposite way, and tighten it back up. For example, if you need more travel on the right-hand side, pull the shifter further to the left and tighten it back down. For a full tutorial on how to adjust the linkage, visit our shifter upgrades video at the 19-minute 47-second mark through the card in the upper right-hand corner or through the link in the video description. Reinstall the rubber boot by pushing it down and sliding forward into its slots, then clip it back into place on the rails. Reinstall the foam if your car has it. Put the ashtray back and tighten it down. Then slide the shift knob back on with the center assembly. Tighten the clamp securing the shift knob and reattach the 2 or 3 plugs. Then clip it all back together. Reinstall your climate control panel and your install is complete.